we can do.
Sounds about right.
What happened?
I don't know, mate. I tell you what, being trackside at the Everest, Randwick was absolutely heaving.
It looked humming. You have to put us... Basically, what I want you to do is basically put us in the shoes of the other 46,000 mates that were on track. How was it?
Yeah, it was crazy type scenes. Basically, if you've ever been to a music festival, and if you've ever been, if you haven't, you're obviously a loser. I don't know why you're listening to the podcast. When you go to a music festival and it's just, you're packed in there like a can of sardines, right?
Mm-hmm.
And big lineups for drinks, big lineups for the dunnies. That was Randwick, mate. It was insane. Walk in and you just felt the atmosphere around you. They say, 46. It felt like 106,000 people, mate. Wow. It was incredible. If you wanted a beer, no dramas. Do you want to wait 45 minutes? Yeah, cool. I guess so. Hey, do you want to go chuck a leak or snap one off maybe? I don't know. If you're a bloke, you're going to be waiting 15 to 20 minutes. And if you're a lovely lady, try maybe an hour. Insane. Glad I've gone. If I ever went again, I wouldn't go cattle class.
Yeah, okay.
You pay money and for a ticket in like a private area, and it's worth the money.
Okay.
But so glad I've gone. The atmosphere was crazy. But you could feel the tires deflating left, right, and centre when the champion went down to gig a kick.
What?
What happened? Who? Craig Williams went full gremlin and cast a spell on us.
Why?
I don't know.
How?
People were asking me for an explanation after the race, the people I was with. Don't know why they were asking me. And I said, look, I have no explanation. And to be honest, if you asked me, give me the top 3 horses you think before this race are a chance to run last, Giga Kick probably would have been in that conversation along with maybe Shades of Rose and Joyful Fortune.
I was thinking about this like post the race, right? I was like, all right, if I could guarantee one horse wasn't going to win the race, it would be Shades of Rose.
Yep.
Like, so he wasn't the worst horse in the race.
No.
But, and the thing is like he's untapped. But like, that Daniel O'Sullivan, who we both love his work, racing.com, he's on Twitter. He's comparing this horse that increase in performance, run on run, to the Autumn Sun, a Stern, like some of the absolute greats that we've seen.
Yeah.
And the best thing is, he's a gelding, mate. He's going to be... Now, there is some premature chat, I might say.
Oh, God, yeah.
The crown's been passed, please. Nature Strip was outstanding.
He was outstanding, mate. Those early splits, he had no chance to win that race. Only Black Caviar would have won that race.
My follow-up line of questioning is then, you were buoyant before the race with that barrier draw. So in reflection, do you think the barrier draw was the thing that lost him the race, or do you think it was a combination of the second up syndrome, the ride, the barrier? Do you think it was a myriad of things, or do you think it was mainly the barrier?
Nah, I don't think it was the barrier. I think as good as J-Mac is, he went too quick. And also Eduardo pushed him out. Eduardo was a big fly in the ointment. I think J-Mac went too quick on him. I think he could have taken a bit more of a seat, which he did in the shorts. But I wouldn't blame the barrier. Look, maybe if he drew like 1 or 2 maybe and just did his own thing and let horses come across, but I'm not sure. What do you reckon?
Hard to say. I think it's a combination of all above. I think J-Mac rode him so in the best possible use of this word, arrogantly.
Yes, so arrogant.
Like he basically was 4 wide the trip virtually. And it's so hard to say, right? They're going at like 70 clicks an hour. But you'd say in that first 400 metres, it looked like he could have just pulled the reins a little bit, and there looked to be a gap there to sneak in behind Eduardo. But, you know, Nash rode that race to win it, and I think Eduardo was lame out of the race anyway. So, but Giga Kick, mate, he was outstanding. Great ride by Craig. Marzu was brilliant. Private Eye, Frank that form. It's an exciting time for the next chapter of sprinters in Australia.
It is good, yeah. No, it's people saying a bit of a changing of the guard. Yeah, certainly an element of that, but I think Nate Strip will be there again next year. And even looking into the autumn, like the TJ Smith, geez, you're not writing him off from that.
Gee, what a terrible day for John O'Shea. I reckon Lost and Running goes mighty close to winning that.
I think so too, because he probably is ridden a bit just as quiet
I reckon he gets
Giga Kick.
I reckon he gets the Private Eye run. Absolutely perfect behind the speed, because he can take a sit, maybe a pair back from Private Eye, but I think his turn of foot is just as good as Private Eye, if not Giga Kicks. Jeez, and then Benno just pulled up lame, finishing second last in the Caulfield Cup. Tough weekend for John. I feel for him in the connections. So,
horse racing, the great game.
Yeah,
the great game. But no, it was great to be there. I had a lot of fun.
So my next line of questioning to you is, what takes longer, a train ride to my house or taking a piss at Randwick on Everest Day?
So drifters. Look, time of recording right now, it's nearly 7 p.m. Brisbane time. I left work just after 5 p.m. Like, we're talking 5:03 p.m. if we want to be super specific. Generally, that'd get me here just after 5:30.
Yeah, pretty consistent
to get on the mic. Queensland Rail just decided to give me a tour of the Bayside suburbs against my will. For some reason unbeknownst to me, they decided to run the train express past the station I get off to come to your house, our podcast studio, obviously. And not only did they decide to go express past yours, they decided to throw in another 7 or 8. But it's not as if Queensland Rail, the entire operation, and every single Tom, Dick, and Harry they employ is paid for by taxpayers' money, a la me and you. It's not like that's the case. It's not like it's costing me any money to make sure they're running smoothly.
I feel for you.
Fuck's sake.
I saw that text message. I'm like, he's had a mare. He's missed the train. And then I kept reading your text message. I was like, he's done nothing wrong here.
Mate, I don't miss trains. I'm not a train watcher, mate. I'm a train getter. I get on the train.
I feel for you.
But
hey, here we are.
Here we are.
Now, 2 more things. There is a big change coming to this podcast.
Huge.
All will be revealed in due time.
Don't want to give the big reveal yet, just in case?
Not yet.
Okay, fair enough.
But...
No, it's not about Hutcho finally losing his virginity.
Shout out to a good mate of ours. So, yeah, all will be announced hopefully in the next few weeks, but guarantee it's very, very exciting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the other announcement is, now we have Group 1 racing this weekend, right?
Yep.
We have it Friday night and Saturday. Why don't we do another bloody live stream? We actually might promote this one.
Yeah, sounds like a plan to me, mate. It was, I think, a great success the first time. I think we hit 4 figures, live viewers, like in the thousands.
Yeah, sure.
So I reckon Friday night, Manikato Stakes, let's go for 5 figures.
Yeah, why not? So we'll be kicking that off about 7 p.m. Brisbane time, 8 p.m. Melbourne and Sydney time, about 15 minutes before the first leg of the quaddie. I've had a look at the quaddie legs. They look bloody tough. So hopefully we get through the first leg. If we don't, we'll still, it's called a quaddie companion, but it's a bit of fun. We basically give our thoughts before each race, what horses we're going to include in each leg. This time we'll be a bit more prepared, so we'll have like a visual on the side to get you to quaddie picks in early.
Yep.
We'll actually get the quaddie on this time. But no, it should be good fun. So keep look out on our socials for all that. But Caulfield Cup, Durston, What do you think?
I think it was a subpar edition of the Caulfield Cup, mate, to be honest.
I agree.
Yeah, no pace on. You'd nailed that. You said on the podcast.
Man,
I know. There'd be absolutely no pace on, and there wasn't. It was terrible.
No.
It gave nothing out the back a chance. My girl, Jewess, didn't have a chance to win that race, which is a shame.
I left her out of the quaddie, but I definitely didn't have Durston in or Gold Trip.
No, I thought Gold Trip was great.
He was fantastic with the big weight. I think he is a chance, not saying he'll win the race, but he's a chance to run very nicely in the Cox Plate this weekend.
Yeah. Do you think anything out of the Caulfield Cup wins the Melbourne Cup?
Nah. No. I think there's a live hope. Oh, look, Vow and Declare's the one for me.
Yeah.
He was super. Running into 6th, he needed to run top 8 to make the field. I think there's a live hope for the Melbourne Cup in the Cox Plate this weekend. 100%. But we'll get into that. So we have 3 Group 1s to dissect. Let's start Friday night, Manikato Stakes, 1,200 metres, Way for Age. What are your thoughts? Coolangatta, it's virtually the Moya Stakes field again, with a couple of interesting little condiments added on the top.
A few little secret herbs and spices. Yeah, Moya Stakes, I backed Rothfire, who was terribly unlucky in that race. I'm not saying he could have won, but I think
he goes close.
I think he goes closer than what he did. But I was tossing up between him and Paul Laley in that race. The reason why I went Rothy is because of his great win, 2 weeks prior?
Yeah.
Via the exact same circuit. And I think Paul Laley is a 1,200 metre horse.
And I think Rothfire, in reflection, staying at the 1,000 metres, I think he probably needed that step up in distance, which he gets here.
He does. So, yeah, look, clearly I think Rothfire is a good chance in this race. But, yeah, I definitely thought the acceptance by Best of Bordeaux was interesting, drawing the car park. But, yeah, it definitely adds a bit of a spice. Behemoth as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the connections of Behemoth have well and truly had their fill.
God, yeah, they have. 3.3 milli.
Come on.
Yeah.
All right, last 12 months, he's had 6 runs for 1 second. That sums up Behemoth. Unfortunately, he's been a brilliant horse. He's been a friend of this podcast for the 2 years we've been doing it. But I think he is by far past it. And if he wins at $26, full credit to him.
Yeah. But yeah, Kieran Maher and Dave Eustace kissed on the dick, rather. Coolangatta draws barrier 1 in the Maya, then draws barrier 1 again here. A good mate of ours is keen on her again for this race. Do you think she'd be better off over the shorter distance?
I think against open age, like at Way for Age against the older horses, she can get away with it on a leader bias track that night as well. So, you know, if it plays the same way, she'll be mighty hard to pass.
Down,
but Best of Bordeaux, he's done nothing wrong either. I think he's just starting to get into his prep now. I do find it interesting that they've scratched him a couple of times. He didn't get a run in the Coolmore either, in the Everest. And this is, 8 days prior to the Coolmore. I kind of don't really understand the prep.
Yeah, I think Casey Fogden was talking about the fact that he gets tougher as his prep goes on. So, look, you have a stab at Wait for Age here, and then go to versus the 3-year-olds in the Coolmore. Timmy Clark on board, I reckon that's a great booking for him.
Yeah, for sure. And
take him forward.
Absolutely. And I thought some of the speed in the race is actually in the emergencies, and they won't really get a run. So Savitu Excel, In the Boat, and Sweet Ride, they all love to be up on pace. So I really see the pace in the race being Coolangatta, Rothfire, Best of Bordeaux, and then Bella Nipotina just getting a perfect run in just underneath them.
Yeah. Yeah, she was the clear horse to look at in the Maya Stakes, who will surely go on to have bigger and better things this prep from that run. She loves the Moonee Valley circuit.
She does her best racing there. 1,200 metres suits.
Yeah,
she's so much more consistent now.
Yeah, 100%. Drawn super well. Do you know the horse that I think is super overs in this race?
Oh, please. You have to.
Sweet Ride, even though he's an emergency. If he gets a start, which is doubtful, he's got form around Best of Bordeaux. He's got form around In Secret. Draws to do absolutely no work. with that lightweight, if he gets into the race, I think he's a huge price. 41s with Neds.
That is a stupid price, but he won't be getting a run. I can tell you that for free.
Who do you think's a stupid price?
Rockin' Horse is a stupid price.
You always say that.
It is. It's $21. It's
Yeah.
come in from like 30s I saw at one point. Are you kidding me?
Form around Private Eye.
At two lengths back from Private Eye. Get fucked. That is ridiculous. Only thing is barrier 15 is a horrific draw.
It is.
And I have a feeling she is much better down the Flemington Straight. But you know, we haven't really seen her around the bend. Like she did race behind Bella Nipotina, only beaten 1.7 lengths. So it's just hard to say. I think she's probably a straight track horse, but geez, she'll be entering my Neds same race multi into 4th place. But so you're keen on Paul Ailey, you're keen on Rothfire. Which way did you go?
I'm going to go Paul Ailey. I would like the 1,200 metres a lot for him. I love his last run. He got hit on the schnoz, but he still found a way to duck through a little gap and kick away. Yeah, the 1,200 suits. After the Shilaki, Godolphin could have taken him to the Everest, but they thought, you know what, we want to get this boy black type Group 1. Let's aim him at this. It could have been, honestly, their plan from the get-go. J-Mac on, barrier 6 is beautiful, similar run to Bella Nipotina, just sit off the speed, and I think if he gets the gaps, he'll be very, very hard to beat. $3.60 with Neds, Paul Ailey's the one for me.
Yeah. No, I think he's a great chance. I just think he's going to settle back half the field, and around the valley, I like my ponies to be in the first half. So that's my only knock on him. He did just beat Ingratiating, and Ingratiating then came out and lost by a very, very long last.
He did lose.
Yeah, but he did have a cough after the race, so it's like, okay, you know, you can probably forgive that. He's been super this prep, taking that run out. But I landed on Bella Nipotina. Happy to take on Coolangatta at the distance against against the older ponies. I think she just gets the best run of the race. Barrier 2, she'll sit up just behind the speed. 1,200 metres, Moonee Valley. She can handle it dry or soft. I think she's a great bet.
Very true, very true. I think I backed her in this race last year.
Yes, I had Yonka. Me and Bradley.
Yep, she'll be there or thereabouts, Bella Nipotina. That's a great bet.
Thanks, mate. Let's leave the Cox Plate to last.
Sounds like a plan.
Spring Champion. Now, this I found a little bit more difficult. I feel like if you can, there is some value in the field. I think it's about $4.50, $4 the field. So if you find the winner, you're going to get nicely compensated by the good people at Neds and Randwick and horse racing. But sharp and
stuff.
Elliptical. Now, I had a look at the last 5 winners of this race, and I didn't have a look at the runners in the field, but the winners, none of them have come through Melbourne form lines.
Yeah, okay.
So Elliptical does bring that different form line from Melbourne. It just got knocked off by Golden Mile. I'm not 100% convinced that Golden Mile runs out the mile still, even though, he did win the race, but he had the perfect run in transit.
He did, yeah.
He has $1.70 this weekend. That is short.
I'm not diving in at that price.
God, no. But Elliptical was brilliant. Barrier 1, he drew Barrier 1 in the Guineas as well, so that probably suits him. Blake Shin, aggressive rider. Geez, $4. I don't know. I think I'm looking for a bit of value in this race.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on Elliptical. I think he's drawn to get a really nice run, to be perfectly honest. I'm not sure about Elliptical because if I wanted a horse out of that race, it was Osipenko in the Caulfield Guineas. Yeah. He's not here.
he's in the spelling paddock.
Yeah, he's having a spell.
He's having a breather.
Yeah, so he should. Elliptical for me, my query is that Caulfield Guineas was not very strong. I had Golden Mile. I don't think he would win that race every single time if you ran it with the same barrier draws. He just had the perfect luck in running the J-Mac polish. Elliptical, you watch the replay and he sort of came out nicely out of the gates and he came back a bit and then he got a couple gaps. Then once Blake Shin got him free finally, it's not like he exploded to the line.
No, it did look like he'd run out a nice 2,000.
It did look like he would run out a nice 2,000, but it's not like an Osipenko where you're like, gee whiz, this thing was coming home like a freight train. So elliptical $4 is a bit short for me. If we're going down the order a little bit, look at number 2, Prometo.
I nearly had this one on top.
He's got open wait for age form around Cascadian. I thought he was bloody pretty good in that last race.
He was. There's just something a little bit lacking for me. I don't know what it was.
You had a bit of a think about it.
He looks like a bit of a, as you say, he thinks about things. He's a colt feeling good about himself.
He is. But the chances don't stop there. He's $7 with Neds, Sharp and Smart $6.50, Williamsburg's $5.50, Matchalate's 13s. You get down to the fillies. She's Extreme and Renaissance Woman. Beyond Baker, something he's becoming famous for is just getting his horses out onto the track all the bloody time on the quick backup. She's an Oaks horse. She's Extreme. This is her first go at 2,000 metres. Mate, I was looking at this race and I was like, do I have a Rubik's Cube in my hands right now? Because this is so confusing. What do you reckon? Help me out.
I don't know if I can help you.
Actually, yep. So that's the end of the podcast.
Yeah. I thought of all the Group 1s, this was the toughest.
No doubt.
I came back to 2 horses, and it's out of the same form line. Just not many fillies run in this race.
No.
But we have seen Never Been Kissed. I think she won it a couple of years ago, or she ran second behind Profondo, maybe.
Montefilia won this race.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not... I'm just finding it very, very difficult to place it all together. I came back to Sharp and Smart and Matcha Latte. I think the price difference between Matcha Latte and Williamsburg is absolute madness. I can't believe it.
Not Sharp and Smart and Matcha Latte and Williamsburg.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Matcha Latte and Williamsburg.
Yep.
Sorry. Yeah. 550. Sorry. Williamsburg, I believe he's had so many chances, and his winning strike rate for mine, it is at 4 out of 10, but a couple of those wins have been on absolute bog tracks against Moko last prep. Now she's a good filly, but she's still a maiden. So I think you can actually put his stats are definitely inflated. He was good last start, but I think Matcha Latte, he's the one I'm kind of gravitating towards, but I do also think if it's in that heavy range, I think he's my pony. If it's in the, soft 6-ish or better, I think Sharp and Smart for me. I think he's a pretty smart horse. He has a good will to win. He's been outside the top 3 once in 6 starts. He's a very consistent horse.
Yeah, I backed Sharp and Smart last start, and he didn't get home by much, but he got home, and I backed Williamsburg the start before that. So I'm on a bit of a roll with this lot. Matcha Latte, fair enough. I don't trust Mark Newnham, to be honest. I feel like whenever I back his horses, they do absolutely nothing. So again, it's probably my fault.
Now, yeah, exactly. Is that his fault or yours?
Is that mine? It's definitely mine. No, Sharp and Smart's the one for me. Yeah. I backed him last start. I think 1,600 metres isn't his go, and I don't think a heavy deck's his go. He'll probably get that this weekend, knowing my luck. 2,000 metres written all over him. He's by Redwood. I think he'll draw to be sort of up on pace, find some cover. I think he'll run out a nice 2,000 metres, so he's the horse for me. Plus, you're getting 650 with Neds. I'd rather take that than 550 with Williamsburg, who you know is going to be in the probably back 3 in the field.
Yeah, exactly.
And have to loop him.
Yeah, 100%. And Matcha Latte, again, he races on speed. He'll be in that first few as well. And he's by Maurice. I love my Japanese.
Yeah, you sure do.
Ponies.
She's Extreme. Yeah, potentially. Oh, she's just not one of mine, so no thanks.
She's not. And I find her best runs have been when she's got out to that mile, so the 2,000 metres might suit her. Look, I think, if I was having a quaddie at Randwick, she 100% goes in. She's definitely a winning chance, but, we have to have some opinions here.
Yeah.
Cox Plate, runner by runner. Let's go.
Let's actually go.
Is it me kicking it off?
Yeah, mate, you take the odds.
All right.
I'll take the evens.
All right. So, number 1, Zaki. Consistent horse.
Really consistent, mate. You did a bit of a prediction.
I did. So, as you are probably all aware if you're a follower of horse racing, Cox Plate, probably the only big race on the planet, if not the only race on the planet, where the connections actually get to pick their own barrier draw, which is pick their own barrier instead of the draw being given to them, which is, yeah, it's very unique, but I love it. It adds another element to, our best weight for age race. Zaki has drawn the best out of all these for mine. They were desperate to get him in barrier 1. And I thought that is exactly what he needed looking at the race, the Might and Power last start. He just has this tendency when he doesn't have the rail to lay in.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's just like a 2-year-old each time he goes out there.
Yeah, no, he is.
Early season 2-year-olds, you just back the ones that are leading on the fence. And because they just have a nice little thing to trail. He's just a bit of a nutcase, Saki.
He is, yeah. He needs everything his own way.
Yeah, so I think, he's got the best barrier draw of these. He was super last start. I think he just was maybe a run too short. This is his grand final. Of the Nation runners, he's by far the best chance. What I did want to do before we started, each runner, we're going to classify them, both of us, winning, place, or got none.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Zaki is a winning chance.
Yeah, he's a winning chance for mine. I'm Thunderstruck, draws barrier 10, which makes things difficult for him. He showed us last start in the Might and Power. He's got some versatility to him. Big Thunder. He sort of went up. He was the second pair back on the fence. Ran out a really strong 2,000 metre tick. From that barrier, he goes back further. Will there be more pace on this race? Potentially. This is everyone's grand final. Mm-hmm. He just doesn't want to be too far back and give too much of a sight to the likes of Zaki, Profondo, who's coming from out wide, Alligator Blood. But, I think he's probably a winning chance for mine of the swoopers. Yeah, he's a good horse. If he gets close enough, he's a winning chance.
Yeah, he's a place chance for mine. I think that barrier does take him out. In my
$13 with Neds.
Yeah, I can find better ponies.
Yeah, okay.
Not better. I think the market's got this one right. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
Alligator Blood. Now look,
the blood.
We were redeemed last start that he didn't run it out. But hey, this prep, no doubt, that Stradbroke that is the best form.
The hottest form in the country, mate.
My God, it is ridiculous. There's been 10 winners out of it or something.
Especially if Rothfire comes out and wins the bloody Manikato.
Honestly.
Imagine that.
It's crazy. So full credit to the connections, ownership, everyone involved in this horse. He's been fantastic. I think we learnt last start that, this is going to be a step too far for mine.
Yeah, the blood, even though he won over 1,800 metres.
It was a 400-metre race.
It was a sit and sprint, which really suited him. I think he's just a good 1,400 to 1,600 metre horse, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's not. There's not. And
there's nothing wrong with that.
I think the barrier is
toxic.
I think he's drawn the worst out of everyone. So he'll try. If he finds the fence ahead of Zaki, I don't know what's going to happen because he could just pull up stumps again. One thing I do know, which I will get to very soon, is that one particular horse and jockey won't be having that. There'll be tempo here.
Very, very fair. Mr. Brightside, would you say he's a rung below these?
Yes. I think he's a B grader, but there's nothing wrong with that. I think he's in the A grade conversation for milers.
Yeah, fantastic miler. He'll get around the valley okay. I think he's undefeated on this deck.
Yep.
Barrier 11 is no good for him because he wants to sort of try and find a spot further forward, which he hasn't in his last two starts, and that's just not going to help him. So, yeah, I don't think he's a place chance, Mr. Brightside.
No, I think he's got none. Now, Mwanga, he's the X factor here because Hot Nash is on. Now,
Hot Nash.
If Hot Nash is on a pony and you're running in the biggest and the best weight for age race in the country, you know that he's going to ride this pony to win it. And he doesn't care. He doesn't give a fuck that it's $31.
I'm Nash. Do you know what I'm doing right now? Picking up a stone and turning it. He's gonna leave no stone unturned. Nashy. Hot Nash, yeah, he's gonna get more out of Mwanga than Huey Bowman, because Huey Bowman just likes to relax on him. Nash gonna like, get up there and get closer. He'll be closer in this race than what he typically is.
He could. He wouldn't shock me if his nose is poking through, on the turn, and Mwanga's name is getting shouted by Matt Hill. It won't surprise me if I don't think he's a winning chance though, because I think he's going to overdo it too hard, and there's going to be faster horses running over the top of him.
Oh, look, if he posts his second in the Underwood Stakes finish like a nice third or fourth in the Might and Power, you'd be thinking, oh, gee whiz, look out. But he finished last, so like what Mwanga are we going to get,
Yeah, he's he's like, what's he like? He's a colt. That's what
he's cultish sometimes.
Yeah, he's very culty.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting horse with Nash on.
Yep. Gold Trip, massive in the Caulfield Cup, carrying the top weight. I thought he was the run of the race by far. Love the quick back up into the Cox Plate, going back in distance, but back to weight for rage. Gee whiz, he's got a pretty fair jockey on board, doesn't he?
He does. He very much does. Jamie Spencer has a great relationship with
Aussie Bloodstock.
Australian Bloodstock, but I'm just going through his form profile. I don't think he's ever been on the 7-day backup, so there is that risk. But if the rain does come as well, they say he's a good wet tracker.
Yeah, they say he's a good wet tracker. His form over in Europe is elite. But yeah, 14th. This is going to be his 15th start. If he wins, it'd be his second victory.
Yeah. 123 weeks since his last win.
Would you argue he's got a bit of a Sir Dragonet profile?
Yeah. I'd have to go back and have a look again. But, Sir Dragonet was by far the best wet tracker of all of those Europeans that year, and it proved to be one too many for Armory, unfortunately.
And my guy, Russian Camelot, who ran a really nice third. Good boy. But yeah, nah.
Laws of indices. Now, unbelievably, if we had top ranked in this field, Nation would have had 4 runners.
Yes, crazy.
Crazy stuff. Look, Laws of indices out of the Toorak was sensational. What I will say in a counter argument is that his last win was 66 weeks ago.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
It was in a Group 1, sure, but it was in France over 1,400 metres. Like, I don't know. If he won this, it would shock me.
I would be absolutely shocked. He's got our favourite Irishman, Johnny Allen, on. He knows how to win this race.
He does. He won it last year.
I'd be shocked, and I'd probably resign.
So, Gold Trip, I think he's a place chance.
Laws of indices?
No, I said...
Gold Trip. Yeah, you think he's a place chance?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
What do you reckon?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So, place chance, no. Laws of indices, both.
No.
Got none.
Young Werder. Geez, if Laws of indices would shock, Young Werder would shock even more. Where does he get to from barrier 2?
He can take a sit.
Yeah.
Yep. I reckon he almost could be on the inside of ANAMOE.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Oh, look. Yeah. He's come back really well this prep, but he's just a rung below these. So nah, not for me.
This is the Melbourne Cup horse I was talking about.
Mate, that's a good shout. What's he got in the cup?
Not sure.
Like 53 or 54?
Yeah, it'd be around there. But I think this is just a nice tune up for the Melbourne Cup, in my opinion. I think
that's a really good shout.
I think of Danny O'Brien's horses, I think this is the one going to the Melbourne Cup that I want to be on. I think he's the best Australian chance to run a good race after the news we heard during the week. I think he's up to that race into his eyeballs. He's been sensational this
he has been
prep.
Good. He has been good.
Yep.
He has been good.
Maximal. Look, there's just the same type of horse coming here, Laws of indices, Gold Trip, Maximal. They just don't know how to win their races.
They really don't.
They run good races, sure, but they can't get their nose in front when it counts. He's another one, to be honest. If the rain comes, he won't even run.
No, he won't. He's a dry, which I don't think he'll get, Maximal. So, no, he's got none for mine.
Like, all right, you can make a case, devil's advocate. He did beat Zaki in the Dooming Cup, but Zaki still ran an excellent race, and he just had an off day.
He did, yeah. No.
Yeah, Zaki has more better days than off days.
Maximal won't win this race.
He's $51.
He's not going to win.
No. Who's this next guy?
I think I just read best weight for age horse in Australia. Nah, yeah, ANAMOE. Geez, he's short with Neds, $2.35, but rightly so. Yeah, best horse in the country. Gets third pick at the barrier. So like, we'll take barrier 4, thanks. He'll be better than midfield. He's a winning chance.
Yeah. I think he's got a good chance in this race. Profondo, I think we as a podcast, as a racing industry, can finally admit that we got this horse wrong. You look at that Spring Champions Stakes that he won. There are 0 stars coming out of that race. Is that he's run 2 races? Yeah. So that's his Group 1. The horses to come out of that race are Never Been Kissed, Legron, Benno, and Raging Bull.
Wow.
So that just goes to show that at the elite level, everyone has just overrated this horse, myself included. He's just not the top tier.
No, he's not. He's a quirky horse. He thinks about it a bit too much. I thought his resumption in the Wing Stakes was brilliant. 3 wide the trip, 4 wide the trip even.
Yep.
Will he win another Group 1? I'm not sure. They'll take him through to the autumn and see how he goes, and they might just take him to stud. He's a blue blood. He's by Deep Impact. Dams out of Redoubt's Choice. Yeah, he'll produce some good looking progeny, I reckon, Profondo.
He will, but he's got none. El Bogadon.
Yeah, gee whiz. He's 412 kilos.
Tiny.
He's a pint-sized little baby boy. But he's got that Northern Hemisphere 3-year-old profile like Adelaide and like State of Rest, who won last year. There you go. Also an Irish horse. Chris Waller's brought him. It was a bit of an experiment. They basically identified this horse, or they wanted to buy a horse from overseas to race initially overseas, then bring over for a race like the Cox Plate. And that's what El Bodegon is. He'll go back overseas after this and then probably come back to Australia and stay in Australia to sort of see out his career. You've always got to be wary of the overseas raiders. And all the chatter about this horse is super, super positive. I think El Bodegon is a winning chance for sure. I think he'll give this race a big sight.
So after you mentioned to me this week about this horse, I knew he was in the field, but I hadn't done my form on him yet.
Yeah.
So where do you think he gets in the run? Is he a go forward or is he go back?
He's a little bit versatile, to be honest, but I think he'll probably be midfield or worse from that draw. So it's not absolutely ideal that racing pattern around Moonee Valley, but yeah, he just seems to have a bit of something about him, just like a State of Rest last year.
Yeah, I tend to disagree. I think he's
forward.
I think he'll go forward.
Yeah.
I think he'll be in the first half of the field. I think he'll just be off the leaders. The way I kind of see the map is Zaki, Alligator Blood outside him. I have a feeling Profondo will be 3 wide without any cover, and I reckon this horse will be behind Profondo.
Right, yeah.
So that's kind of how I've mapped him. I think I reckon J-Mac will try and get 1 out off the fence, so he's just like in between the gap of Alligator Blood and Zaki, so he just has that nice little gap to get through.
Yeah, so he can choose which way to go. Yeah.
But El Bodegon, pronounced that correctly, I had a look at all of his 2,000 metre runs over in Europe.
Yep.
He's basically leading them or he's just off the pace.
Yeah.
Over 2,400, they ride him cold. So it's like, that tells me he's a 2,000 metre horse in and out. He has some serious form over the 2,000 metres. Like, he was beaten by 5 lengths by Vedeni But then that horse went on to lose by only a few lengths to Luxembourg. Like, that is sensational form for this race.
Yeah, he's got great form for the race. Interesting. Where you think he'll sit in the run, and to be honest, like, you're probably right. If you want to show some initiative if you're Ollie.
Yep.
You know, even if you're drawn a little bit wider, you probably, rather than let the race unfold, you probably do kick him on a bit forward. I think probably midfield, personally, but yeah, look, he's a serious chance in this race.
Yeah, I agree. So your numbers, please.
Well, I've got to go my guy Mo on top, obviously. Backed him every start of this prep before the spring started. I said he'll be by the end of the spring, he'll be the best weight for age horse in Australia, which I think he will, and that means you win the Cox Plate. He's drawn perfectly. He's had a faultless prep. I think he lost a couple of lengths in the Might and Power. If he doesn't lose that couple of lengths and he beats all of them by 3 lengths or 2 lengths or something like that, oh gee whiz, he'll improve out of that run. I think he's got that run in him where he's just going to explode, and I hope he's saved it for grand final day. So Mo clearly on top for me. El Bodegon is the biggest danger for mine. Biggest danger. He's making me a little bit nervous. And then Zaki, I think he's going to run a cracking race. I think they'll just get over him at the end, the last sort of 40 metres or so. So, yeah, they're my numbers.
Yep. I can 100% admit that I was completely wrong about ANAMOE. Just like him not being he was a good horse, but not being a star. He is a star.
Yeah.
As you said, he's the best weight for age horse in Australia. He'll win this.
Yeah.
The name of this podcast is Give It To Him Now.
I actually feel nervous talking about it, mate. I feel nervous talking about it. I'll probably shed a tear in joy when he wins, not if he wins, when he wins. It's a cracking race. I can't wait.
Yeah, agreed. Bodegon into second for mine. He's the biggest danger. And Zaki, same numbers. They're the only 3 you need for the quaddie.
Yep.
Best bets time. Now, I've got a few, and I've got it across 2 days and 3 meetings.
Okay, mate. So we want to go back to Friday?
Yeah. I only have the one on the Friday, and it is a bit of a throw at the stumps, but if it could get you off to a nice weekend. Race 6, number 7, Territory Titan. Great name.
Yeah, fantastic name.
That's why. No, he was he raced up on pace in the Seymour Cup, and he was only beaten 3 lengths. Just Folk came out of that race and nearly, ran only a length and a half behind Cascadian. Look, Barrier 3, Moonee Valley, Friday night, can be leaderish. He'll be out in front. Could run a really nice race for you. You're getting $10 to find out.
Yeah.
Have a throw at the stumps. Why not?
I don't have anything on Friday night, mate. I do, to be honest, I do actually really like Paul Ailey at that price. So I'll have a decent whack on that. But nothing else at this stage on Friday night that tickles my fancy.
Lovely. On Saturday at the Valley, race 5, number 4, Bonheur. Big fan of this filly. Trent Busserton, Natalie Young, Hot Nash on board.
Jeez, he's hot.
He's so hot, bro. Really like how she goes about it. You can pretty much... She stuck on nicely last start in that absolute slop fest where Boogie Dancer won at Caulfield. Barrier 11, not stoked about that. I don't really know where she goes. So hopefully if they can run on, she will be in the finish. But I think she is typically, midfieldish type of horse, so hopefully she's not too far back, but you're getting about 650 to find out. So Bonheur.
Race 4 in the Valley, number 3, Willing a Beast. I thought she probably could have won that race in the Roman Console where Best of Bordeaux won. Look, if the rain does come, she's going to get through it. There's a stack of speed in this race. By the looks, I think she'll sit just behind him. If she gets the gaps, $3.70 with Neds, I think she's a good bet.
Yep, she's dual accepted in Sydney.
She is, yeah.
Race 6, number 6. I don't care where she goes. She's my best of the day.
Oh, there you go.
So I don't care if she's in Melbourne or in Sydney. She has elite form, a couple of lengths off. Madam Pomeroy and Zugotcha. How many fucking Group 1s are there?
Dos.
Yeah. So, yeah. And she gets weight off the top weights. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I'll be backing her wherever she goes. I just decided to say them because we were in the Valley. Race 7, the Valley, Berkeley Square. He puts these away.
Yeah.
He puts these away, Berkeley Square. I think I don't think Craig Williams gave him the best ride in the Guineas. And we were just talking about it, honestly. We were talking about it. Golden Mile wins that race because he had the best run in the race. If you replay that race 3 or 4 times over, I think Berkeley Square not necessarily would have won every single time, but I think he could have been a winner as well. He puts these away. He's by territories. He'll get out to the Derby trip. I think he'll be a great bet that day too, based on the information that I can't really know.
Look, I think that's a bit harsh on Craig. And, you know, I can be critical of Craig at the best
Critical
times.
of Craig.
But I think the horse just didn't start well. And, you know, he was just slow out of the gates, and that's where he lost the race. I did see Barkley. I thought 230 might be. I wanted to see him. I wanted to see him out to the distance.
I think he puts them away.
Yeah.
I said before the Caulfield Guineas, I reckon he could be my Derby horse, so he needs to put these away. My futures bet suggests so.
That makes sense. Race 6 at the Valley. Now, my theory with the Sydney mile race last week was Ellsberg just comes out and wins. And he did just that quite nicely. Why the hell won't Tuvalu do the exact same thing?
I can see Tuvalu doing the exact same thing. Draws perfectly, sit up on pace, just pounce. $3.20 with Neds. I think that's a cracking bet, mate.
What is happening?
I don't understand. I don't understand.
I don't get it.
I don't understand.
I don't get it. I really don't.
I don't at all. That's everything I've got in
I agree.
the Valley.
I have, I think I only have the one at Randwick outside. Yeah, I've already given my best, so I only have the one.
All right, give it to me. Give it to me fair and square.
Ruffy of the weekend. Stupid price, this horse. Now, she is a bit of a money muncher, but she's a different mare this prep. Race 9, number 11, Never Talk. I'm going back to the well.
In the invitation, the 2 milli invitation.
Yes.
Never Talk.
Chris Lees has this mare flying. Jason Collett, arguably the best wet track rider in Australia. Arguably, yeah. Arguably. But what I really like to see about this filly, this mare, was 2 things. She was about the only horse all day, that day at Randwick last start, that actually made any ground.
Yeah.
Like, it was an absolute glue pot, and she still got through it. I think she's flying. And she was only 1.5 lengths off Brigantine first up, who then ran a third placing to Valana in the Silver Eagle last start. Those form lines are good enough for me to jump on. $19. Chuck her in your quaddies, chuck her in your Ned's same race multis, chuck her in everything. I'm seeing Nimmerly. She's 4 runs into this prep already. Ice Bath, she's just never having any of mine. Like Espiona, she's a nonny now. I think. Do
you think Forbidden Love runs a big race in this? Draws barrier 2. She'll probably get a heavy deck finally.
No.
Blake Shin will be aggressive. I reckon she runs a big race.
She failed last start.
She did, but
a week ago.
I think she bounces back. Bang.
Yeah.
Just clip it through the onside for 4.
Yeah.
She's a belter. Fresh.
Not a wet tracker.
True.
If it is a wet track, I'm not too sure. But yeah, Never Talk for me.
Yep, fair enough. Do you know what? I'm not actually a massive fan of a lot in Randwick. Some of the favourites, like Golden Mile, he's way too short. Willing a Beast, yeah. If Willing a Beast is running, yeah. There was another, look, I think like War Eternal, maybe Purple Sector, maybe, but no, I'm not really too keen to play in Randwick, to be honest, mate. So my best of the day is actually in the Valley. And if the best horse in the country is running, even if it is the best race at weight for age in the country, wouldn't that suggest that he's your best bet? I think Mo's my best bet of this weekend. Mo! Just because I need every bit of good juju in my being to get him over the line. Mo is my best bet of the weekend.
That's 3 weeks in a row. that you've done that. You've gone ANAMOE in the Might and Power. You stopped Major Strip. You stopped him. I don't think it was Hot Nash or Regatta. I think it was you.
I called J-Mac. I was like, better go quick. You better go real quick. And he took that too literally. He went too fast, too early. I called J-Mac and he just hung up the phone on me. I was like, oh.
Shut up, Dicklin.
Yeah, it's a real shame. Yeah, shut up, Dicklin. It's a real shame.
But yeah, no. And ANAMOE this weekend. I think that's a cracking bet, mate. Live stream this Friday night. Yep. Look out for our socials. Subscribe to our YouTube so you don't miss it. 7:15 Brisbane time. That's when the first race is. We'll be kicking off at 7 p.m. Brisbane time, 8 p.m. Sydney and Melbourne time. Don't miss it. We'll have tipping comp this weekend as well. We'll do obviously the Moonee Valley card, but we'll chuck in the spring champion. Manikato won't be in there.
Yep. Just made a call then.
Well, majority of people get their tips in after the final fields have come out, which makes sense.
That does make a lot of sense, to be honest, mate. No, all good. Obviously, thanks to the great people at Gage Roads, thanks to Bareback Biltong, thanks to the great people at Neds, but most of all, thanks to us.
Yeah. Yep. Well said.
101 not out, motherfuckers. Get with the program.
Make it a big daddy 100.
Yeah. That's what I'm keen to do. Double ton, maybe.
Yeah. Double.
Good luck and God bless.
Hooroo.
And go Mo.